who was the athletics director. I went along and we, how do I put this? Back then, we had two departments in Texas. Back when I started coaching in Texas, there were no women programs at all in Texas, not any. While I was coaching, they named Rodney Page. Rodney was the first black coach at Texas, and they made him coach the women's basketball team. They made him coach of the basketball team and gave him nothing. They didn't help him with basketball. They didn't help him with anything, but they made him the coach. And he coached for a year. The next year they hired Jody Conrad, and they gave her everything. They helped her like it should have been. And poor Rodney got the tail end of that situation pretty badly. And where else were we? Your question.
Oh, I was just talking about the other kind of roles that you played at UT after coaching.
Yeah. Well, I did go with the loss to all the athletic directors meetings and the camps and all the things that we had going on. I went with him to those and as his. I couldn't be his bodyguard. I don't know. Maybe I could carry his bags weren't too heavy. I could carry his bags.
If you needed something high up, you could jump for it.
I could jump up and get it. But I go a little further with that. We traveled, Loss and I, but there was also Donna Lopiano, who was, and he is still big time women's supporter, I'll say. And she was athletic director of Texas, and Jody was the basketball coach. But they went with us. We kind of traveled together. And I did, in fact, carry a lot of bags. I carried a lot of bags and supported them the best I could.
What do you think it is about the University of Texas that is so special?
That's only in the minds of the people that go there. If you go there and you have to ask a question, why is it so special? Then you missed out, because it's just like an Aggie. I got a lot of Aggie friends, and they think that's special. I don't see anything special about them, but they do, and they'll tell you about it. Aggies are good as long as they're one at a time. Aggies are no good. They get together and they crow a lot about a lot of things, but take them one. I've got a lot of close friends that are Aggies. In fact, I played against basketball players, a lot of them over there, that became real good friends of mine.
Tell me about, the fact that you have only missed 3 home games between, I'm going to get it right, 1964 and 2018, I think? You'd only missed 3?
Those last couple of years, there's probably a couple of more games that I missed. And you might ask, well, why would I go into all the home games? Well, when I resigned, I still had some responsibilities, and that was game management. Crowd control was mine, because we were still in the Irwin Center, and things could happen there. And so I would visit with the officials and see if they needed anything, and I'd visit with the visiting coach and see if he needed anything. And so I was there kind of trying to help make sure that we didn't have any problem. Well, that continued even through and during Irwin Center time. I still did the same thing until it got to be ridiculous, because if you could walk out there on the court before the game started, look over there at the visiting team bench, and there's more people over there with coats and ties and they were players. They didn't need anybody to help them. They had lots of people. Well, you could look on our bench, on the Texas bench. They certainly didn't need any help. They had a bunch of coaches and people administrative. They were all over them. And so one thing left was officials. And it turns out that our trainers, we had so many of them that it made more sense for a trainer to go down there and tend to an official that needed help, a willed ankle or whatever, than it did for me, because I wasn't going to take his ankle. I could get him coffee or something, but that's about all I could do. So I stopped that. So I went through it a long ways, and I stopped it. And after I stopped it, I still kept going to the games. And but I go into the what do we call it? The press room, I guess, for better word. Go into the press room, and all those people are close friends, and I visit with people and coaches and visitors that are somewhat visible and high up in the athletics departments of the teams that are visiting Texas. They come in there and drink coffee and eat some pie or something, whatever. So I have a chance to continue to visit with people like that. And that's the reason that I have as few missed games. But in the last, probably the last 2 years, I'm not sure. I missed 2 or 3 games, I think.
Well, obviously your health in the last few years has probably contributed to that.
It's been problematic at best. I've lost 25 pounds, and it's not something I needed to do. I never had 25 pounds to lose, and I didn't then. I'm trying to hold my own right now. I can't hardly gain it back, but it is what it is. We run with it.
Before your health issues, when you were at almost every game, why did you have to miss the few that you missed?
Why now what?
Why did you miss the very few games that you missed? Like what?
I was in the hospital one game.
Okay, there's one.
And I think I was sick 2 games, yeah. Yeah, I never missed a game when I was healthy.
All right. What is your favorite thing about the university?
Same thing, integrity. If we lose our integrity and our openness